Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. It is July, so we are going to go ahead and do another top 10 games on Wax. This is my chance to go ahead and tell you my personal top 10 that are available right now on Wax. This is based on the information I currently have about the projects. Obviously, tomorrow something could completely change. A project could lose half their team, make a crucial decision, and that would change it. So this is, as of today, my personal opinion. And please, please, please do your own research before you jump into any of these games if you decide to take a closer look at them. This is just for information, entertainment purposes only. Do your own research before you jump in. All right, this is the next edition. I did one in June, but I only did top four. I really focused on the ones that I'm super excited about. Plus, I added a few honorable mentions in there for July and going forward. I'm trying to refine my process, and I've extended it to top 10. So I have 10 games on this list plus a few extra, and we'll talk about those here in a second. And these are ones that I think of as of July 1st are really awesome and something that have long-term visions. My criteria when I look at games, if you haven't seen my any of my videos before, is I look at long-term games, not short-term click-to-earn games. I do not like those. Those will not be on my list for the most part. There's a few that are in that phase now, but their long-term vision is much better. I look at community, I look at the team involved, I look at communication, marketing, all the aspects of the game, and obviously tokenomics. My Because of the way the market is right now, I don't focus just on ROI. I think that is a blind way of looking at with the market down right now. ROI is important, but not the end all be all decision maker. So keep that in mind going into this. Let's go ahead and dive in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with two games that I think should be on your watch list. These are games that have not launched. These are games that are very newly announced, recently did pack drops, but some things that you should keep an eye on because I think they have the potential as they get rolling to be on this top 10 list. And these are new games that I have not talked about other than my video yesterday. I have not talked about these much at all. We're going to go ahead and start with Hoot Valley. If you are a SimCity fan, you will want to take a look at this game. Currently, it's at a very early stage. They just did some initial drops for their packs, but long-term vision of this is very similar to SimCity, where you're going to build out a city. You're going to make sure it's functioning correctly, it's balanced, so you have enough workers, enough tourists, enough income, and enough just places for people to live, things like that. Very similar to SimCity. I did a full video on this yesterday. I encourage you to look at it. That's an intro. I will be doing more videos on this here in the future, but if you're a SimCity fan, check out the Hoot Valley. Next on the list, this is one that just dropped a pack this past week. Music Mogul comes to you from the same developers, or not the same team exactly, but the same group as Blockchain Brawlers. And I think that this has a lot of potential. It has a lot of hype around it. What you're doing with this is you are basically becoming a music mogul. You're trying to put together a music and entertainment conglomerate. Basically, you're building out a business and you want to rule the music world with this project. Again, it just dropped its packs. The game is not yet active, but what I'm reading about it and the hype that's behind it and the team that's behind it, I think it has potential. So keep an eye on this. All right, we've gotten those out of the way. Let's jump into the top 10. These are the top 10 games on Wax as of July 1st that I truly think look awesome. All right, and we're going to start off with number 10. Number 10 is not yet launched, and most of the criteria that I tried to hold on to for this top 10 list was in order to be on the top 10 list, you had to be launched. The project had to be launched. But I could not keep this 10th one off the list simply because it will be dropping this month. I've seen a lot of the testing videos, so I know the information behind this. I haven't quite played it in full force yet, but there's a lot of good things about this game, and that is Waxel World. I have a feeling once this drops, potentially middle of this month, that this could easily move up this list considerably. It's got the team behind it, it's got the community behind it. The long-term vision is awesome. The concept is not something that has not been seen on Wax yet. So there's a lot of potential around this. True Ninja fans, you guys already know about this. If you've been watching my videos, I've talked a lot about this, but Waxel World, as of this month, comes up number 10. There's a chance that this is going to skyrocket once it actually launches. Next on list number 9 is Mining Network. This is one that's breaking all barriers as far as it is the only game on Wax that is not whitelisted by Atomic Hub, but it is crushing it on the Atomic Hub rankings. It's number one, top three consistently, and it's not whitelisted. It's really the only game that I can ever think of that's done this. Basically, you are a hacker that's sitting in some basement in a dark spot, and you are farming Bitcoin, farming what they call a bit cake. So it's that kind of game. It is still early. They just did a drop for their hacker pack this past week, so it is developing. And again, it's breaking a lot of barriers and a lot of stereotypes that you need to be whitelisted by Atomic Hub in order to rank high. That's why this one's made it number 9 on the list. Number 8 is Deep Mine. This is something that's also still very in the early stages. You are on a planet where you are mining and you have to go down a number of layers. I believe it's 9 layers in order to get to the mineral that's really going to drive your civilization. So you're working through that. It's got a lot of hype. There's a lot more play on words depth for this game than just a simple mining game. So something that you should keep an eye out for if you like the sci-fi style mining digging style games. I hear a lot of rumblings, possible rumors that there's a lot more coming to this game than is currently available. So that's why this made it number 8 on my list. Number 7. Number 7 is the first 3D, really 3D game that's super interactive, immersive. It's a gathering game right now. They just introduced a battle portion of it that still needs a lot of work. Um, I'm saying that, but they are doing a lot for this game. It's the functionality, the gathering, the interaction with the environment. I think this is leagues above a lot of other games as far as 3D version goes. So it's something that you definitely check out if you like that kind of games where you're actually running around and you're gathering. Check this out. It is one of the only games that's really streamable currently on Wax. So something to take a look at. This is my number 7 is Immersis. Number 6 is one that I could not leave off the list, even though it's been around longer than I've been in Wax. It is Splinterlands, and it is spinning right now. There we go. Splinterlands is number 6 on my top 10 list for this. I couldn't keep it off the list. If you're not familiar with Splinterlands, if you like trading card battle style games, this is the one that's been around the longest. This is the one that is probably the most popular from a card game perspective. It's got a lot of different aspects to it. Definitely worth checking out if you like the card. If you do a lot of table card games outside of NFT games, you want to check this out. It's a pretty neat one. I don't play it as much as I wish I did, but it's got a lot behind it. And it's got a lot of support behind it. It's definitely proven its worth. All right, now we're getting into the heart of it. Now we're getting into the top 5 for July 2022 on Wax. Number 5 is Blockchain Brawlers. This is still in the early stages, but it has really revolutionized as far as concepts, and it also brought the Wax. The Wax team has first developed game is Blockchain Brawlers. The art style is cool. The community is cool. It's got a cool long-term vision. Once the PvP comes out, it's going to be pretty fun to play. They do a lot of giveaways. They support their players. Just a great overall game. That's why it's made number 5 on my list. And number 4, oof, yeah, number 4. I have to recheck what number I'm on. Number 4 is Million on Mars. This is one of the best strategy games available right now on Wax. This has so much different aspects to it, and it build on top of each other, and the team is great. Always involved in the Discord, always bringing out new stuff. They just connected. They just bridged over to Solana. Um, so they now it's on two different chains, and they're continuing to put out new and cool things. They're continuing to revamp. They're looking at the stuff that they did wrong and they're revising it. Just a lot of cool things with Million on Mars. It is basically you are landing and claiming a spot on Mars, and you're trying to build out a settlement, and you're continuing to grab more and more and more and more land. So something to definitely check out. They do have a very cheap to start entry point, and they also have a solid, I guess I want to say veteran starting point. So lots of cool things. Check out Million on Mars if you're not familiar with it. All right, now we are top three. Top three. This game is a game that I became familiar with right after becoming jumping on Wax, and it has continued to impress. They just this week released their product uh, system, and new Wax Chester's right around the corner. This is if you're not familiar with it, it's Farming Tales. It is the only farming game that's on Wax that I would recommend. It's cool because it's the other 3D game that I really like so far on Wax. There's other 3D games that are coming, but just the fact that they recently introduced their product system means they're getting even closer to new Wax Chester, which will be a multi-person city where you can go to interact. They're also talking about jumping over to other blockchains. This is the product system that I was referring to. Lots of cool things happening. If you like any style of farm games, any style of growing and producing your own products and then taking it to a multi metaverse type of city, um, check out Farming Tales. The caveat that they have is the entry point is still a little high. They don't have any really low entry point items. That's the only thing that's hesitating. But I think New Waxchester is potentially going to give this the opportunity to go up to one, depending on how that releases. All right, number two is a familiar number two on the list. It is Taco Universe. Taco Universe it teeters with Farming Tales in my eyes as far as back and forth, and I thought Farming Tales was going to move up to number two with the release of the product system, but Taco Universe made several announcements over the last 2 weeks that keep it tight spot on number two on my list. They have announced that they have 3 new games coming out soon. They have a new coin that relates to those, and they're continuing to build up their gaming platform as far as trying to put quality games on there that you can play to earn wise. In addition to that, they have the utility that's been approved for both iOS and Android. They also have their venues, their land system. They have it all. They have low entry point items with Brigade. They have high entry point items with venues and extractors. It's really everything that you want. Plus, they have the utility side. This is the moves that they're making and the continuing progress and collaborations with other teams make this a very strong number two product on Wax. And number one continues to be Metasource Castles. I have to say this is still number one, especially with their dungeon expansion coming out. They continue to do almost weekly events that keep their players interested, keep the value high. I just did an hour and a half interview with Robert, who is the CEO for Metasource, about a week ago. Lots of great visions, not only with the dungeon expansion coming, they're also in the process of planning a 3D game itself that will rival games like World of Warcraft and Mirandus that's currently on Gala, but with a better spin to the Mirandus side of it. They are also soon to introduce a low entry point, which is a big concern that a lot of people have with castles, and probably the only hiccup that I think right now that Castles has is they do not have a low entry point to attract new players, but they will be introducing that in with the dungeon expansion. And I've also heard in the Discord this week that they're also taking a look at another potential free to play or easy to enter point. So that continues to make them the number one game on Wax from my personal perspective. This is the one that I'm most excited about. I'm excited about all 10. Let's be honest. I tend to spread myself a little thin. But as far as the top three are the ones that I'm super excited about, especially with things that are coming out here in the very near future. I hope you all enjoy this list. Go ahead and comment down below, what games did I miss? Bring them into my attention. I'll be happy to take a closer look at them. If I missed anything, I know there's some people that are going to say uh, some games out there that I just may have missed, or I just don't think they're top 10 worthy quite yet. So go ahead and comment down below what you think. Go ahead. Would you have the same order that I do? Go ahead and reorder. Let's get a discussion going. I will go ahead and do this again in August, and we'll continue to evaluate depending on the way each of the projects are going. I thank you and have a fantastic weekend, everybody.